So finally, it's time for a new season. Finally, we're back in La Liga. And it's time to get real. Or real. Or real. Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Dodgy Gamer here, bringing you a brand new season of Andorra. Andorra, the double challenge in which I take charge of the club FC Andorra and the nation of Andorra and try to lead them both along the road to glory. Well, after our glorious promotion, we had a bit of a promotion party and extended break. And then last week on the channel, we brought you the first episode of the Andorran Open Challenge, in which my promotion-winning team took on Custard Profits' IF Gotne Swedish Cup-winning team. Do go and check that head-to-head creator clash if you haven't done so already. But now we're back to normal business. We're back to FC Andorra. Today I'm going to take you through our summer transfers, take you through the season preview, take you through our pre-season friendly, and then take you to our very first game of the season. We couldn't have asked for a tougher start, away to Real Madrid. Let's start on the money trail, tracking our ins and outs in the transfer market. Now, we did blow a lot of our transfer budget before we even officially finished the last season. I think I showed you the big signing of Maicon Silva in the last episode. We were able to spend some more money after that, partly because of sales, partly because of TV revenue coming in, that lovely La Liga TV money, and the board then loosening the purse strings a little bit to put some more into the transfer budget. Well, we had a few free departures. Jan Koulibaly, I mentioned last episode, our Ivorian player, was with us for a full 18 months, and in that time scored, I think, 2 league goals. He scored 4 cup goals. They were all in the same game against non-league opposition. Well, we sold him to Malaga. The reason I'm mentioning this one again is because when it came to the reaction to the transfer, the fans gave me an E, saying they were furious about selling an important player. They recognised that he had a poor goal-scoring record, but they were still furious. These fans can be fickle sometimes. For once, I'm back in the board with that grade. First big exit of the summer, Moussa Cissé. He's been with us as a left-back for quite a number of years. Reims of France, his home country, were interested in him. This is one of those where they started with what I considered to be a pretty insulting bid. It was something like, £2 million or something like that. So we said no. We said no to 3 million. We said no as they kept increasing it. Eventually, Cissé had his head turned. He started to say, I want to leave. I want to go back home. And in the end, Reims put a bid in. And I said, well, give us 10 million and we'll think about it. And they were just like, okay. So, we let him go. I think he's a player, at one point when we got promoted the last time, he had 5-star potential and he was rated by the coaches as potential to be a first division level player. Now that's not there. It's like 3.5 stars, and they're saying, he's a good second division player. So perhaps, there are better options for development that we can have. Few youngsters out on loan. Maximovic has gone to Tarragona. Our young Andorran players, Muyemba and Liga, they both signed new contracts, but they both insisted in contract negotiations that they get sent out on loan, which is what we've done. And then our Brazilian young keeper, Italo, he's gone to Granada. Hopefully by the end of the season, he'll have completed enough time on loan at Spanish clubs to pick up Spanish nationality. We also sent Marino out on loan. I mean, he was a bit part player for us when he was in the squad last season, so I think he needs to develop a bit more. We might look at releasing him eventually. And Aitor returned from his loan in Portugal, and we eventually managed to shift him on to Elche, who were down. So he's dropped back down to the second division. 3.6 million with the potential to rise to 4.5, so pretty decent deal, and we got rid of that 29,000 a week millstone from around our financial necks. So players coming in, I already showed you Burling, Camara, Carvalho and Maicon Silva in previous episodes. Then with money generated from the sales of Cissé and Aitor and that TV money, we brought in a couple more players. Young strikers. I just can't resist them. So we had Lee Russell, we had Baltazar, we've got Arlinda, we've got Burling in. I thought, if we're going to play one up top, that's going to be fine. But, we might want to look at a third striker, just in case. Step forward. Iker Moreno, signed from Atletico Pamplona. Now, Atletico Pamplona had another striker who we were after, whose name I can't remember now because it's quite a complicated Spanish surname. But this guy came up, spotted by my scouts at the European Under-19 Championships. 18 years old he is, and he's got the potential to go very far, to be a star player. If we look at him, he's got good acceleration. Pace needs to be developed, but decent starting physical stats, high determination. He's good off the ball. Finishing 11, so that's something for him to work on, but he's got good technique as well. This guy could go places. We're also after a bit more kind of depth in defence, so Carlos Alberto is a player we signed, again on the young side, 18 years old. And he's one, well, we're not going to play him this season probably, registration rules and so on in the squad, but he's got 2-star current ability. Again, it's that 5-star potential that we're interested in. So we're looking to organise a loan for him, get him out there, get him some first team experience. We've already had a bid come in, actually. You see, from Racing Santander and Mallorca, they've both made bids, so hopefully he'll get plenty of game time at one of those boys. And finally, as a replacement for Cisse, we've brought in David Pereira. It wouldn't be a transfer window if I didn't sign a Portuguese player. So he's going into the left-back slot. 3-star current ability, not bad. Potential to improve a bit. And, we can rotate him in and out, swap him over with Hernandez. But he's a nicely aggressive player. He's got the stamina to run all day. He's got, decent crossing and so on. He will work in our system. So the other big news is the new stadium is complete. We're now in the 15,000-seater FC Andorra Stadium. I immediately, because we sold something ridiculous, we sold something like 11,000 season tickets for this place. So I immediately got onto the board and said, look, if we sold that many season tickets, 15,000 just isn't going to cut it. Let's expand the stadium. And they agreed. At the end of this season, they're going to do a summer building project to expand one of the stands and add in an extra few thousand seats. We're going to go up to about 19,000 once that stadium expansion is complete. We've also had our youth recruitment and junior coaching budget increased, and youth facility and training facility upgrades are underway. So we are going places. If I just show you the facilities now. So we've now reached a point where with the new stadium, we've got top corporate facilities. So we'll be getting that stadium sponsorship in pretty soon. We've got great training facilities, state-of-the-art data analysis. So remember that training facility is going to go up as well. This is something we've got to work on, below average youth facilities. So it's probably going to come up to average, and then we're going to have to keep on top of the board about improving those youth facilities. But we've also got exceptional academy coaching and excellent youth recruitment. So everything is looking much rosier in that young Andorran regen situation. And just taking a look at the squad, obviously we've got quite a few players out on loan, just seeing where the new faces sit in. Jimenez is going to continue as a first-choice goalkeeper. He's only 19, but he's up to the job. I think Banus will be a more than capable, experienced deputy. We've stuck with Perez at right-back as backup to Jonathan. Jonathan's going to be playing whenever he's fit. Perez very much the backup. Hernandez, as we said, will be rotating in and out of the squad together with Pereira. Then our first choice centre-backs, it's going to be Jorge Gomez. It's got to be Jorge Gomez, the young Andorra. Now on to 3.5 stars. Very good for the senior team. Well on his way to that 5-star potential. He's probably going to be partnered by Crush initially. Although Crush, he's starting to show his limits a little bit more as we rise up through the ranks. But then we've got Kieran Fleming. We've got Andre Fernandez as backups. Now, in midfield, it'll be like last season. It'll be Macias and Guedes most of the time. Then we'll have our attacking midfielders. We've got Robertson, we've got Eugenio, we've now got Mohamed Kamara in the mix joining us, an Ivory Coast player. Can play also on the right wing, although he did say in contract negotiations he'd prefer to be an advanced playmaker in the middle. which we're more than happy to accommodate. Not quite a new face, but someone we've brought back in this season, Gayan. He's 21-year-old Brazilian player, been signed to the club for a while. Just because of the foreigner limits, I couldn't find a slot for him in the squad. So, you'll see from his history, he had a couple of full seasons out on loan at Ferrol. He also had half a season at Izara before that. That was enough for him to gain his Spanish nationality. Only 2 years, that's all you need to get Spanish nationality. So, although players can't get Andorran nationality, frustratingly, we can send them out to Spain so we can get around those EU limits. So he's named in the first team squad for the first time. Of course, we've got Duarte as well. He's been injured in pre-season though, unfortunately. Still got a couple of weeks before we get him back. Then we've got a lot of the new boys on the wings. We've got Carvalho and Silva joining Sieta and Perez. And then up front, our Lindo's probably going to be the first choice initially. We're going to bring Michael Burling in. Unfortunately, he was also injured in pre-season, so we haven't really had a chance to see what he can do. And Iker Mourinho is going to be rotated in now as well. Pre-season has been pretty good as we roll our P's and R's. We opened up the new stadium. The inaugural match was Barcelona, and it was a 2-2 draw, which was a bit of a surprise. Granted, it was the first game in pre-season, so we can't read too much into that, but we played pretty well. Leroy Sane scored the opening goal. We pulled it back through Mohamed Kamara. Great to see one of the new guys making an impact straight away. Maicon Silva put us 2-1 up. They did equalise through Anthony, who's classed as a wonder kid, but we eventually battled them to a 2-2 draw. We then went on a bit of a pre-season tear. We beat Galatasaray in the second game at the new stadium 3-1. We then played a couple of small teams who were just offering us lots of money to travel to play them. We went all the way to Granada, I think it was, to play Bellevue Rangers. They paid us £50,000 for that. We went to Azerbaijan to play Turan. They paid us £100,000 for that. We went to Tunisia to play Club Africain and Setif. Combined, they paid us about £300,000 to play them. Hertha Berlin, a little bit less money, but more of a prestige-friendly. That was our only defeat in pre-season as we went down 2-1. We then had a pre-season tournament at the new FC Andorra stadium. Sevilla came, we beat them 4-2. Club Brugge came, we beat them 5-1. And Shakhtar, it came down to that matchup for the title on the final day, and we beat them 5-0. All of which brings us to Real Madrid. We're the last game to kick off on the opening day of the season. You see the results have come through already. Most of the big boys have won. Barcelona and Valencia got the win. Sevilla got the win. Atletico Madrid started off with a win. Are we going to spoil the party? Of course, we're at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid are heavy favourites. We may well get hammered. We've changed formation a little bit. Now, normally, you'd see us playing the 4-2-3-1. I don't want to take that risk in the first game. And I want to keep that. I want to keep that for games further down the line. So, we're going with a 4-1-4-1, as the game wants to call it, with the defensive midfielder. So, Jimenez in goal, Gomez and Crush in the middle, Jonathan, and Pereira making his league debut in the full-back position. So, Gayan plays his first start for FC Andorra as a defensive midfielder. We're looking for him to block off some of those attacks. Macias and Guedes in the centre of the park. Maicon Silva and Perez are on the wings. We'll be looking for big things from Maicon Silva today. And Arlindo, or Arlinda, as FM Lama likes to call him, up front. Burling starts on the bench, as does, well, that's it, no other new signings on the bench today. We're going to bring those guys in later. Of course, in all this excitement coming into the first game of the season, Pogba, by the way, was a summer signing, I think, for Real Madrid, although he's a bit long in the tooth by this point. Yeah, of course, the transfer window isn't open yet in all this, opening day excitement. I've talked like everything's a done deal. There's still the chance for players to leave. There's still the chance for us to bring some people in. But for now, we're going to show people what we're capable of. I'm going to remind the players that I've got faith in them. We've got a fully motivated team, almost. Let's get out there and see if we can pull off the shock of shocks. They asked me in the tunnel interview, they said, you haven't really pulled off any surprises with your team selection. We've changed from the formation that we've used solidly for more than a year. How is that not pulling off a surprise? Anyway, we've made it to 10 minutes without being humiliated. Just the 1 shot on goal from us so far, but also just the 2 from Real Madrid. And here we go, first highlight of the day, Real Madrid with the attack, bringing their way forward. Oh, they're just too good. I thought Rodrigo was either going to fire off a shot or draw the penalty there. In the end, it just harmlessly rolled into Jimenez's hands. Well, we're up to 35 minutes now, and it's only that one pretty low-quality highlight so far. Pogba now trying to get it in, and such a threat here from Real Madrid. And oh my God, what a terrible goal to concede. That goes down as an own goal for Jimenez, the poor guy, humiliated on his debut in the top flight for us. Ah, dearie me, they just had too much space on that side. It hits the post. Jimenez made the dive. Unfortunately, it bounces off the top of his head. He's bald in the picture. He's got hair on the pitch. That made the difference, I guess. Okay, it's back with Jimenez again. We're playing out of defence here. Are we going to see the first FC Andorra attack highlight of this match? We've had shots according to the statistics. The assistant manager told me too many of them from range, but Maicon Silva gets dispossessed far too easily out on that right-hand side. And now Real Madrid are just toying with us as they kind of... They just say, we'll blast our way forward whenever we feel like it, but we'll just tease you first. Rodrigo with the header. Luckily it goes over. So we're 1-0 down at half-time. To be fair, Real Madrid have been the better team, but it was a cruel way to go behind. Yeah, we're not getting much joy on that left-hand side. No crosses completed by either Pereira or Perez. Arlinda has been frozen out of the game, unfortunately. The assistant manager wants me to tell them they've been excellent so far, but I'm saying show me something else in that second half. Arlindo is a bit stressed. Well, we've got to tell him, we've just got to give it to him straight. I'm not happy with you, and that's G'd him up a bit. We might have a look at the tactics, see what we can change here. I don't know, do we want to go more direct to create more chances, but potentially give the ball away more often? Or do we want to play it into the box a little bit? We're going to take off the time wasting because we're chasing the game now. We're going to go for hit early crosses. I think now's the time to bring that in. That'll give us a bit more urgency. We won't worry about working the ball into the box just yet. We'll save the overlaps for a bit later. Maybe put on the overlap down the left just to give Perez a bit more support. All right, here we go. It's the throw-in an advanced position, but it's immediately cleared by Real Madrid and Crush dilly-dallied on the ball, and he was caught in possession, and now Rodrigo's bearing down on goal. Jimenez makes up for that earlier own goal with a fine save, but this is the frustrating thing here. We got in an advanced position, but there was just no way for us to contain Real Madrid once they won the ball. They're very much hitting us on the break. We've actually had 62% possession in this game. We just can't break them down. Right, it's time to make some substitutions. I'm bringing on Burling. I'm going to put Burling on up front, the former Tottenham player, for his debut. We'll keep him as an advanced forward because that's his best position. We're going to bring on Sieta for Perez as well. We're making the changes up top because we're lacking that penetration into the box at the moment. Right, 10 minutes to play. It's still only 1-0. We might as well treat this like a cup game. We're going to go positive. Very adventurous. I know. We're going to look at those team instructions. We're going to go a bit more direct. We're going to up the tempo as we move into these final few minutes. We're going to spread out a bit more as well, make ourselves a bit wide on this huge Bernabeu pitch. We're going to tell the goalkeeper to distribute quickly, get it over the opposition defence. Let's have our pacey guys running onto it. We're going to push that line up a bit for out of defence and see if we can, force our way back into this game. I'm also thinking we need to make a final substitution, but I have to play on for a few minutes or a few seconds before I can do that. Right then, we can now look at making our final substitution. So I'm thinking we've got to bring on either Carvalho. I'm thinking Carvalho for Silva. Silva did take a knock, not an injury, but I'm told he's got a bit of a bruise on his shin, so we'll bring in Carvalho. We'll make him a winger. We'll get the ball out to him wide. We'll give him the team talk. We'll tell him on his debut for the team, we've got faith in you. He's motivated. We're motivated. Let's get out there. 9 minutes left on the clock. Can we sneak our way back into this, or will we end up losing 2-0 now that we're not going to be containing Real Madrid so much? Well, doesn't look too promising for us on this highlight. Immediately after the tactical changes, Real Madrid on the attack. We can't clear it properly. I mean, we've had the majority of possession. That's not been reflected in the highlights at all today. Come on, chase Pogba down. Hassle him off the ball. Come on, get this Miato guy pegged down, but no. It was a gamble. We changed things up a little bit, tried to be a bit, seize the initiative a bit more, and we immediately got exposed, and Piatek heads in the second goal, and probably, in all honesty, puts the game beyond doubt. Okay, so we drop back to balanced, we drop the defensive line back a little bit. We don't want to humiliate ourselves now as we reach stoppage time, 4 minutes. I mean, here we go. There's a chance for them to score again. Come on, or a chance for us to get a consolation. At least let's have a proper FC Andorra attack, but no. Real Madrid just getting greedy now, and Osimhen gets the goal in stoppage time just to rub it in. Just as I was about to say that last time we were up in La Liga, we lost 3-0 away at the Bernabeu. It looks like we're repeating that today, unless there's one more cruel twist to come. Not today, then. I mean, we had the possession. We had some chances. Just none of them were deemed highlight worthy. So, not the best of starts. We're already in the relegation zone. Oh dear. Let's have a look at the fixtures we've got coming up. We play Tenerife in our next game, so that's the kind of game we've got to be targeting a win in. They're a team that we've played in the second division in the past. We've got Granada and Valencia away, tough pair of games there. Then Valladolid at home. That's another game where we've got to target getting points on the board. Same goes for Sporting Gijon and anything we can get out of Bilbao. Levante as well. We've got a run of 4 home games in a row there. That's very interesting. One thing that's definitely going to be an episode in the future, though I may live to regret it, is when we've got another run of 4 home games, in the middle of which is Barcelona and Atletico Madrid in back-to-back weekends. That will be coming to the channel. There's a strong chance the next episode may be an international one, because if we go and have a look at the international fixtures, we've got Nations League action coming up. We've been drawn in Division C Group 4 with Scotland, Armenia and Latvia. We've never played Scotland before, so that might be a nice game to feature on the channel in a forthcoming episode. And then we'll probably skip ahead to include that final game against Latvia. Hopefully there'll be something to play for in that one. Well, for now, I've got to go and face the press, so we'll leave it there for today. Disappointing result in the end, but, to be expected against one of the better teams out there in La Liga. What do you think of our chances this season with our new signings? Do let me know down in the comments below. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed today's episode. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm Dodgy Gamer, and I'll see you for the Scotland game.